Okay, this is the video solution for homework number 9, which is to be done in the lab on July 29th. There are two problems here, and one of them is involving parameterizing a part. And among the things that I want to be included in my tree for parameterization purposes, of course, are all these dimensions, but also the material and part number. Okay. So let me do this thing, and then the second one is parameterizing an assembly. So we'll worry about later on. Now let's go here and start with a part file because I'm dealing with a part problem. It's a good idea if I start with a part file. All right. So on this plane, I will sketch. I'll sketch something that resembles that geometry that I have in there. So uh, let me. If you look at this. What I can do is I can create perhaps a, a profile like this, profile like so, and then mirror it. Okay, so let's see now, like this, like so, down here. And well, either I can mirror it or I can create it and then go and post symmetry on it. So let me do that. Let me go that route. Okay, so let's make it symmetric. Left line control right line, control the middle axis. You're going to make it symmetry. All right, this line control that line, control middle axis. We make it symmetry again, symmetry. And notice that because of what I have done, I can actually resize this thing and it's going to stay symmetric. Let me put it back where it was. Yep, okay. And or I can do resizing here and it's going to be done symmetric. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the circle on the top. It's actually arc, so we go here, we put the center of the circle here. Now it looks like, based on the drawing here, the center of the circle uh, does not have to be on these two lines. Let me see. This is an arc from a circle with radius r with center on the plane of symmetry, okay? But not necessarily it's going to be the continuation of these two lines. So just make sure you don't put that constraint in there inadvertently. So like so. Okay. All right, we're gonna put some dimensions here. Wait a minute. I want to make sure that this is not. Let's just make sure that yeah, you can see that uh, that center up there is not necessarily on these two lines, except that I just realized something. So I want this control that to be coincident so that I don't have a situation like that. Okay, good. Okay, very good. We put dimensions that are needed. So first of all, this is going to be my big H. What else do we have here? This height is going to be big H. So let's dimension it. This is going to be big H later on. Now, the distance from, let's see, from all the way to the top to that line is going to be W later. So the distance from here to this is going to be W, one of the parameters that we're going to do for this dimension from that center to this is going to be my W later on. And of course, the radius of the circle is another dimension that we're going to need. Well, that takes care of everything. We're going to pad it. All right, good. Okay, so here's my tree, and now we're going to create my parameter. It's a good idea to save, so let's save it. Do that. File, save management, save as. This on the uh, desktop, new folder. So that's going to be homework 9, problem 1. Problem 1. All right. So we're going to go to f of x. We create a bunch of parameters. Let's start with length, and they're all length actually. Let's start with big R. And if you don't know what the value of big R, if you click on this, it'll tell you what the value, current value of R is. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, this is, let me change this thing to wireframe so that you can see it better. Yeah, 2.6. So this is going to be 2.6, roughly. Another one, this is going to be W, and that W is going to be 3.8. I'm going to call this thing W, and it's going to be 3.8. 3.8. All right, apply. Now this one inadvertently I left out, so let me go select it and make it big H, which is around 4 or 5. So 5, apply. Let's do another one, which is the padded length, which happens to be the default, which is right here, 0.787. Okay, so this one is going to be L, big L, and it's going to be 0.787. I'll make it 1. Now I also want two things of the type string. One of them for name. So first one is going to be name of the part, and I'll call it I don't know, maybe dummy. And another one is going to be material, part mat or mat, and make it mat. And I'm gonna make it gold for now. Apply. And I close this. Notice that because I've activated display of the parameters in my part, they're already here. Okay. Now, because we're going to be applying material to this and changing it, I need a dummy material to be applied for now. So I'm going to apply material aluminum on this part, and I say okay. Good. Okay. So save everything. Now we're going to create our relations or equations, if you will. So we go to f of x, click on the part, we can see them here. So this, add a formula, and it's going to be W, so I'll select it from here. This, add a formula, it's going to be H. And I can make this thing also H, or I could have made an equation which is this is equal to that, and then this is equal to H. So I'll didn't do it like that, so I'll just go ahead and make this thing also H. H. That thing is radius. This thing, add the formula, equal to radius. All right. I think I did all the dimensions one. Let's go ahead and do the name. So I click on the part and scroll down. You're going to see part number right there. Part number, add the formula, and that is going to be the same as this name. Okay. And finally, material. We put a dummy material there, so you can find it right there. Here's the material, add the formula, and that's going to be my naming of the material property, mat. Mat. I call it MAT, right? Yeah. Good. So let's close this, and here comes the moment of truth. So let's go ahead and uh, change this thing to the third rendering. So let's start with actually W. W, I think is too big. So I'll make this thing 2. There we are. Except that the radius is also too big. So let's let me see how this thing works. Okay, so let me undo this. Undo. All right. Let's change this thing to a different number. So maybe let's make it 2.3. See how it looks. Ah, cancel. We're gonna have to find out what happened here. Let's go back to that sketch. Yeah, so You see, once you screw up a sketch, then after you change it, things are going to stay like that. So let me undo this. I want to check my sketch, make sure that actually okay. So let's go back to where the sketch was right there. Let me see what I can do here. First of all, because I have constraints here, you see that I can change it so that it looks like this. Put it somehow in a configuration that shape. Yeah, good. Now we can go and change things. For example, this was W, right? So let me go ahead and change W to maybe 4. There. Let me change this R from 2.6. I'll change it to 2. There. Let me change the H, these sides from 5 to, how about making it 4? Right there. So it is working. Let's change our material. So we're going to go from dummy. I'll call it, how about Jack? Jack. The name of the part should change because it did change. And material, there's the parameter that I introduced. I make it silver, and we say okay. And it did change to silver. Now, let me repeat. If you put unreasonable numbers so that it screws up your sketch, from that point on, if you try to change it back to where that number was, you might have a problem. So this is why I actually undid all the stuff, went to a configuration that I liked, and then started changing from that point on. So let me see here. What happens if I put a 2 there? Right. You see, it actually is exactly what I asked it to do. Did I do 2? W was 2. Yeah, the center of the circle is must be somewhere way up there. So let me see for a second. The center of the circle must be way up there. Good. Anyway, just be aware of the fact that you have to be careful when you parameterize and you check your work. Don't put unreasonable numbers there. So let me undo this thing so that it goes back where it was. Okay. Yep. So that takes care of this problem. All right. So now we're going to do the second problem, which is an assembly. I'm going to make 2-part large piece, small piece, and they should fit together. I put some assembly constraints, and for the purpose of this tutorial, you can either do this problem or the first problem is shown to the GA, and you're going to get the check mark. However, it's a good idea to work on these, both of them, because you're responsible for both on the final exam. The 4 variations of these problems that you got, these are two in terms of parameterization of a part and parameterization of an assembly. And we're going to start the I did start the design table today in the lab. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. I'm going to save this. I'm going to close it. Because it's an assembly, I'm going to start with the product. Product. Okay, so immediately save it. File, save management, save as, uh, up. So it's going to be right there. Make a new folder. Homework 9, problem 2. Homework 9, problem 2. Problem 2. Let's insert the block. So insert, I'll call it large piece, not the block. Yeah, insert new part in there. And I think I called it large piece. Right click properties. I'll change it right here. Large piece. Large piece. And this is the instance name. This is large piece. Okay, let's go make it. So I'll make a box. So on this face, on this plane, I'm gonna draw a box. Later on, we're gonna make sure that it is actually a box. So let's dimension this thing. A box meaning with the same size, a cube actually. How about that? Calling it a cube. So I'm going to dimension this, and I'm going to dimension that, and I'm going to exit and pad it. Excuse me, pad it by I don't know. Let's make it 4 for now. Later on, we're going to make sure that these are all same. As far as this cutout is concerned, so I will draw something on that face, a quarter of a circle, and then we're going to create a slot on it. So on that face, I will sketch quarter of a circle. Well, let me do it like this. I'm going to clean it up. So first of all, this control that, I'm going to make it coincident. Okay, this, let me actually finish it. Where is that line? One goes from here to there, and another one going from here to there. Okay, this is going to be horizontal. Okay, and I'm pretty sure this one is vertical. All right, so this radius is one of our parameters. Yep, that radius is one of our parameters. So let's actually give it a dimension. Exit. And we're going to make a slot here. Where's the slot? So it's one of these surface-based features similar to pads, stuff like that, and it's right there. See that? Oh, groove actually. What I meant was groove. Let's make a groove. It says what is the sketch? The sketch is sketch 2, the one that we just did here, and the axis is this axis. Make it move around that. Now we don't want to make it 360 degrees, so let's for now make it 60, and later on it's going to be one of the parameters. Actually, yeah, actually it goes the other way around. So flip, cancel, start again. So let's do it like this. Groove. uh, let's see. The profile is right there. The axis is right here. You flip that, okay, and we're gonna make this thing, let's make it 60, see how it looks like. There, we got it. Eventually this 60 is going to be one of our parameters. Okay, so that takes care of this. We're going to insert our next part. Insert a new part in there. That's going to be a small piece. Right click properties, small piece, and small piece here. Okay, I'm going to make it. Double click on that. On a convenient plane, on that plane, I will sketch. Why don't I do that quarter of a circle? Okay, so let's clean this up from here to there, and from here to here, and let's clean it up as I meant. As I said, right click make this thing horizontal. Right click, make this thing vertical. Good. And dimension this because eventually it's going to have the same radius as the other one. Exit. And we're going to shaft it about this. About this. Now, we just want it to go 60 degrees. Later on, it's going to be our parameter there. So this is going to fit there. Okay. If you want, you can change the color. Right click properties. change the color to yellow so that you can see it better. Okay, good. So let's go here and save everything. Yep, in that folder. Remember that? Okay, so let's actually put assembly constraints here. So first of all, let's anchor this big piece, and then coincidence between this axis, this line and that line. Okay, and coincidence between this plane and that plane, and coincidence between this plane and that plane, and update. Now, if you don't see these matching because they have different values of R, we're going to fix that. So we go here at the assembly level. Remember, at the assembly level, we are at the assembly level. We're going to create our parameters. So to length, there's going to be two of them. One of them is going to be big R. And if you want to know what big R is, just click on that. You have a rough idea. So it's about 2.4, 2.5. I'll make it 2.5. And then the H is going to be the size of the box. Where did I have it here? I didn't actually say what it is. I'll call it L, right? L. So another one, L, L, which seems to be about 4. Okay, so we make it 4. Apply. And then we're going to make an angle, which is angle, angle. Uh, and we're going to call it alpha, ALFA. And right now it's 60 degrees. So I'll just keep it 60. We can change that later. 60 degrees. So we created our parameter and they're appearing in the tree. Okay, good. So let's now go and create our equation. You click on f of x, and let's start with the small piece. Okay, there we are. And let me see now. Where is the radius? I'm going to change the rendering here to wireframe so it's easier to see. So this seems to be the radius, the formula, and it's going to be R. Okay, and the angle, now the angle is not going to be on this. Oh, well, it wasn't on the screen. Let's check that. Oh, now I'm hoping that this is the angle for that shaft, but let's go here and do it directly from the 360 degrees right there. This is the angle, first angle. Add the formula, alpha. Okay. Now let's go and do it with the other piece, which is large piece. Okay. So let's check these. This guy, add the formula, is going to be your L. This is to ensure that actually that thing is a cube. And another dimension here. There must be another here. This dimension also add a formula equal to H, not H, L. Padded length. The padded length, if you're having a hard time seeing it on the screen, you can always go and get it from this thing. So let's see now. That's on the large piece. There must be a pad first limit and things like that. So you know what? Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide the small piece so that I don't see the stuff. Let me see if I can find it. I believe this is the padded. This is the pad length. Yeah, first limit right there. Add the formula equal to L. Where's the radius here? The radius is, this is the radius right there. Add the formula. It's going to be R. And finally the angle, the 60-degree angle. So must be somewhere here. Must be this. Yep. Add the formula equal to alpha And lo and behold, that's all we need. So we're going to go check it out. Okay, so let's first of all bring that guy into the show mode, which is this. Okay, very good. Let's change the rendering here. Okay, and we're going to go and update. Update. There we are. You see, they fit. So if you go and change the length to maybe 8, 7, update, just the box is going to get resized. Okay, we change 2.5, we change it to 5, update, there we are, and change the angle alpha into, I don't know, 10 degrees. I'll make it 20 degrees. Okay, update, and you can see that it's down 20 degrees. Now, by the way, the assembly constraints are fully satisfied. So if I take this and I do all kinds of crazy stuff, translate and update, because I put proper assembly constraints, they're going to go back where they were. All right, folks. So that takes care of the second problem, which is parameterizing an assembly. Let me save this thing, and we're going to stop.